Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Business Brunch. This is continuous professional development in bite-sized chunks over lunch. So welcome, and we hope that today will fill your mind or fill your brain with lots of new information that will help you professionally. Specifically today, you may notice we have a guest with us. Welcome, Johnny.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me.
Oh, thank you for being here.
So please behave yourself, Johnny Walker.
Yes, for those of you of a nervous disposition or have little children in the background, put your earbuds in. I am known to use Anglo-Saxon language occasionally.
No, surely not. I'm sure there'll be no cause for that today. There'll be no cause for that today. So as always, welcome to the show. Please say hello in the comments. You won't see all the comments because we go live on usually 13 or so different channels.
Wow.
So maybe a few more as well with Johnny's added. But say hello and we'll kind of say hello to you. So today, really important show today. We're talking about how to land your ideal job. So let me tell you a little bit about it first, and then we'll introduce ourselves, then we'll introduce you, and then we'll get straight into today's topic. So you might not know, but I've started a new role today. Woo! Hooray, at last. Woo! It was quite a difficult first quarter. This was not the plan. But I know a lot of people are in exactly the same boat that I was in just last week, in that there are very few roles seemingly around at the minute in those senior exec roles advertised. The job boards were empty, and certainly it was not my plan. And it was the first time I've kind of had this much kind of, I suppose, wasteland, and it's really difficult. And so luckily for me, I've started a new role today. And they do give me lunchtime, so it's all right.
Mm-hmm. Can I just say there was no luck involved whatsoever? just pointing that out there, Vanessa.
Well, okay, you might say that, but and I'll tell you how I got this job a bit later, I think, because I think this is really key. And it's, I did Johnny's program, the 5-day accelerator, and then the program, and so it's all very relevant. So we'll get into that a little bit later. So first, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Vanessa Ashworth. I'm a marketer. Simple as. Melinda, who are you?
Hello, I am the Director of Consulting Solutions and Managed Services at Helm 360. And my name is Melinda Ward. And I've just celebrated my 1-year anniversary at a job which I really like and really suits me. And I'm in an alternate location this week because I'm visiting my team in Costa Rica. So I am a little bit south of San Jose in the mountains.
Fabulous. I mean, there's an ideal job for you, isn't it? Goodness.
There we go. And it was actually a lot of Johnny's input and information helped me to work this out. So it does work, and it can work for the longer term as well.
2 recommendations already. We're flying here. Sarah, who are you?
I'm in somewhere really exotic. I'm in Chiddingfold. It's just like Costa Rica, only a bit different. I'm an executive coach, and I work with senior leaders and senior leadership teams, helping them develop mindset and skills to enable them to achieve outstanding results, which is fabulous fun. And Mr. Johnny Walker, I've had the pleasure of working with you on many occasions. I know how fabulous you are. I know the gifts that you keep on giving have helped so many people. So quick intro into you. And just in case people never heard of you before, who are you and what do you do?
So if you are a job seeker and you want to get your ideal job, not just any old job, but you're the one that really fits you well, and you want to do that faster, and you want to do it for more money, then that's what I do for a living. I am a job-seeking coach. My name is Johnny Walker. I've heard all the jokes, so we'll skip the whiskey jokes. But obviously, I know all 3 of you. Vanessa and Melinda have benefited of the program, and Sarah has made the program better than it was before by turning up and helping me coach it. So, generally speaking, I am in very a very grateful mood right now because I'm surrounded by people who have all helped me out. So, thank you very much.
Wow,
fantastic!
Pleasure.
So Sarah,
say hello.
Yes, say hello. Who's in the comments?
Mariana. Hello to everyone. Hello, Mariana. Sue's in. She keeps losing signal, but hopefully she'll get to see it. And Augustine is in from Kenya with a very long message there. We just go back up. who is here. Martin Diehouse from London. Thank you for joining us. Alina's in the house. Alina, brilliant. If you're there, can you pop the link to the 5-day challenge into the notes, please? I can do it as well. But if you have got it, that'd be great. And David's here. Hello.
Hi, David.
Okay, we're still going. And Robert Way is in. Hi, everyone. Yes, it's been a very difficult 6 months in the UK. It really has. Danny's in the house, or he's probably in the garden in his very nice work office shed. Keep going, Augustine. Good for you. Amit Carrier is in. Good morning. Glad to be here. Glad you can join us. Thank you very much. Lisa's in. Hi, Lisa. Sarah knows I'm looking for my ideal job. I'm listening intently. Good for you, Lisa. This is it. You've got to take these opportunities. So many people say, "Oh, I won't turn up. Won't even watch the show. Won't hear what Johnny has to say." Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Take the chance.
For anybody with signal problems, this will be recorded and it'll be available on replay, and you'll also be able to share it with your friends as a result.
Cool. Loads of people coming in. Thank you. James is here. Sarah Jane Atherton's here. Oh my goodness, God, you have created a stir, young man. Sandal's in. He's calling from New York. Calling? No, he's not. He's watching from New York. I don't know why I get this calling thing from. Happy Monday to you all from Lee. Sarah Brown. Good afternoon, Sarah Brown. How are you? Matt's saying hi to Danny, which is lovely. And Max, is it? Hey, Max. I was expecting the whiskey joke to break the ice. You've been on the course. You can go on the course again and listen to him do that again if you want. And that's it for now. Lots of people coming in, especially for you.
Thank you. And I recognise quite a lot of those names as alumni of the programme. So thank you, everybody. I'm not going to shill for the programme, so no sales pitch today. I'm just going to try and help out as much as I possibly can. And at the end, we'll offer you something which doesn't cost you any money. So stick around for that. But I'm here to answer your questions. So how can I help?
So first, I think let's start the questions off and say the market is notoriously tough, and it's been a roller coaster of a market, hasn't it, for the last 3 years? COVID happened and the market died. Then we got this boost, and then suddenly it was supposed to be a job seekers market, and now we're back in kind of the wastelands again. So, executive job seekers, really. I mean, Johnny, what can we do?
So I think the first thing to acknowledge is that what Vanessa said is true. This is a tough market. Okay, so if you're feeling like you're not getting the breaks, if you're feeling like this is harder than it was before, you're accurate. Okay, it's not you. That is the market. Okay, and I don't want to be sort of vague about this. There are some very specific reasons why it's tough right now. The first one is that macroeconomically, interest rates jumped through the roof. Investors and businesses that wanted to invest in growing their businesses took a second look at that and thought, that's an expensive way of doing things. Well, might wait. And so the hiring surge post-pandemic didn't quite manifest as much as we wanted to because of the interest rates jump. I think the second thing is that the tech market had an enormous play through the pandemic as we all moved online, and they hired magnificently. And there's been an adjustment there. I think between them all, they hired several million people, and there's been an adjustment backwards as they just refine the numbers. But that has dumped tens of thousands of tech workers into the marketplace who are now competing with you for your job. And I think the third thing is that we recognise there's a cyclical hiring season for everybody. So in Q1, the calendar year budgets get given out. The financial year budgets get given out around end of March, April, and everybody who's going to receive an annual bonus receives it and resigns, and that creates a lot of liquidity in the marketplace for hiring managers to solve with their newly acquired budgets. And it's now April. We're getting to the end of that now, so that bubbles or the froth from the market is now dissipating. We're into what's a more regular quarter, and you've got to get your skates on, because in about 10, 11, 12 weeks' time, the hiring managers are going to go on holiday, and the ones that are here are going to be covering for those that are on holiday, and then they'll all swap places. And basically, for 6 weeks between the end of July and the end of August, you're just not going to get anything. So now is a sort of a little window of time where your post-hiring bubble for the first quarter, you've got a regular bubble now, and then there'll be a slowdown in the summer, and then there'll be that September, October, November bubble that we can have, and then nobody's only hiring in December. So you basically got 2-3 month periods left in the rest of this year. Otherwise, it's going to continue to be tough. So I want you to, if that's doom and gloom, I apologise. That's not what I meant. If you are feeling tough, you are not alone. That is normal across the piece right now. So it's not you. That is the backdrop that we're in right now.
Okay, doke. So it's good. So we need to act now. I think the difficulty is, as we said, a lot of good people have been out of work for quite a few months now. And the problem is then they might jump at the wrong job and then they'll be back here again.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult, isn't it? Because when money's tight, you feel like you've got to take whatever's there. So how can we not make that mistake? It's the whole idea of landing the ideal job that's going to be the right job that will last, so that you're not back in this position again. How do we even start that?
I think the first thing to recognize is that getting your ideal job, the thing you're best at, the thing you've got the most experience in, all the rest of it, is the one you're going to get fastest. So don't be tempted to deviate from that and go for a lower down job that you think you're overqualified for and be a no-brainer to be hired for. Actually, it's not true.
No.
The hiring manager doesn't look at an overqualified person and jump for joy. The hiring manager,
No, because they know that they're just going to jump when there is the ideal job coming, and they don't want to have to replace them quickly.
There's that. I think that first things first is that when you hire someone who's overqualified to do the job to be part of your team, if you're not in the room, as senior people are often not because they've got to go to meetings and do other stuff, then there is somebody capable who can run the show in your absence, which isn't something you fear because you're a pretty serious person. But now the team have got two masters to listen to, and that's really hard from a management perspective to have a senior person in the room who can offer advice, guidance, and step up. That just makes management hard. The second thing is that that individual, the overqualified person, is on a different training and development track to the rest of the team because they've learned all that stuff already. They're more senior. And so that's hard for the manager to manage that person because they've got two lots of development to do. There is the sort of minor issue that if your boss's boss swings by and takes a look at the processes that are going on and realizes there's two people in the room and you only need one of them, they could just fire you and put this, give the person you hired that was overqualified a bit of a pay rise and tell them to take charge of it. That often doesn't happen. It's an overblown fear. And there's also what Melinda said. So there's a number of reasons where if you think, well, I'll just go for a slightly less paid job, slightly, easier hire, it's not easier, it's actually harder. Stick to the thing that you're best at, you're most experienced at, you've got the most knowledge in. That's the thing you're going to get hired for faster because that's the easiest thing for the hiring manager to say yes to. Which then brings us on to the question of what is that? Because none of you are kids, right? We're not. You're not a data entry clerk. You're serious individuals, particularly the executives I coach. You're not a one-trick pony. You've learned loads of things, lots of skills, lots of knowledge, lots of qualifications. Which of those things is the thing you do best? Which is the thing you've got the most experience at? Which is the thing you've got the best performance at? And often, job seekers don't stop to ask that question and come up with a coherent answer before they proceed. And as a result of which they are then mistargeted or not targeted at all in their job search. They'll just take whatever in front of them for whatever money's available. But there's that, that hackneyed phrase or cliche from back in the day. George Washington was said that if someone gave me, 8 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 7 hours sharpening the axe. You've got to get yourself targeted as an executive job seeker. What is your ideal job? And then go after that, because that's the one you're going to get fastest. And your ideal job will consist of 4 things. So if you can imagine a 4-circle Venn diagram and an overlap in the middle, that's your perfect spot. And the 4 things are this. What have you got the most experience in? What's the thing you've done the most of? We've all done lots of different things, but there's been one thing we've done more of than the others. What have you got the best performance in? It might not be the same answer as to what you've got the most experience in. You might just be really great at something that you just haven't had enough opportunity to do more of. The third thing is, what do you love the most? I was really good at revenue generating, but most people wanted me to do it via a sales route, and I didn't, as a result of which I never really loved sales. I loved being a relationship manager and account manager, that sort of softer end of the revenue generating function. And that's why I fell in love with marketing, because it doesn't really require me to sell anything. So what do I love the most? What have I got the most experience in? What am I best at? What do I love the most? And the 4th circle for that is actually not you, it's the market. What does the market most want right now? Okay. Now, when interest rates are low and economies are buoyant, often they want revenue. When interest rates are high and markets are retracting, sometimes they want costs to be reduced. If you're in a highly volatile industry and the regulators all over you, maybe you want to mitigate some risk, but there'll be 4 circles there, an answer in each of those, and the overlap there will produce a result. And often you find that the score is sort of 3-1 in favour of a thing. That's your ideal job. Go work out what that is before you do anything else, because that's the job that someone's going to offer you fastest.
And there's another problem with this is I see it from a different angle, is that they do go for these jobs that are not quite the right thing, not what they love, not what they're really aimed to be doing. And then about 6 months later, they're really pissed off that they're in a job that's too low a spec for them. They're not happy. They're not being treated that they want to be treated. They haven't got the responsibility they used to have.
Yeah.
And then they're going back to square one because they're feeling miserable. And want to start again. So actually, it's a waste of time doing that. You need to have this belief and this direction to help you go for the thing you actually want and deserve.
Yeah.
And sometimes people have to make a hard choice. They do have to step down for very, very simple reasons, like the family life just demands it. That's okay, but it shouldn't be your first port of call to step down. You are worth the job that you had before and some.
And not just worth it. It's easier for the hiring manager to say yes to you if you ask them to make a decision that is aligned with the level you're at, rather than something that's not, often a lower one down. If you want to jump fast, stop fishing outside of your ideal job pool.
Yeah. But sorry, go on.
So many people have that idea that they need to like all of the job boards and all of the recruiters and everything else with their CVs and make everything super general because, I can do all the things.
Yeah.
And it's such a common misconception, isn't it?
It is.
Like the way forward, and it's a distraction.
Counterintuitively, if you throw your net really wide, you'll catch nothing. If you are super, super laser focused on the thing that you want, then you'll get that faster. And I know most people feel like, yeah, but Johnny, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this, and I don't really mind which one of those ones I do, as long as someone offers me a job. The problem is that doesn't appeal to the hiring manager. They're not looking for a jack of all trades. You've got to narrow your message, which we'll talk about in a minute. And to narrow your message, you need to know what to narrow the message to. What's that message going to be about? And that's that little 4-circle Venn diagram I talked about. Go find out what the answer to that is before you do another thing, because if you don't have that target, you definitely won't hit it.
Yeah. It's the value proposition, isn't it? It's knowing what problem you solve, the value that you deliver. And if you've got that nailed, you know what to offer to the hiring manager who needs what you're offering. But if you try and say, I'm a marketing director, I'm really good at marketing, well, that isn't solving anyone's problem, is it?
It's not, and we talked before the show started that, let's take marketing, because I know you well, Vanessa, so I don't mind me using you as an example, but you can wander around the marketplace saying I'm a marketing director, I manage people and budgets and stakeholders and manage upwards and do reports and all the rest of it. So what? What's that do for me? And some businesses right now are out there thinking, hello, we're in a particularly buoyant market, our product is well demanded, or our customer base is switched on right now. And so what we want is a marketing director who knows how to absolutely hammer the revenue button. Other businesses are out there thinking, you know what, I think we're about to do anything major with our business right now would take a lot of risk. And so I'd rather just do what we're doing now. But if we can save some costs on that, then we can just improve our margin. So I want a marketing director who's more efficient rather than necessarily more revenue. And those are two totally different people. Unless you work out which one of those you are, how are you expecting the hiring manager to find you attractive? And so knowing that, that middle of the 4 circles, knowing that is going to make you more attractive, because they're going to go, that's the problem I've got right now. That's what I want to solve. I'll go hire that person, and then you'll get it done faster. So it's not about the skills, knowledge, qualifications, experience. It's about the results of those: revenues, cost, risk, etc.
And that feeds right into the idea of not flogging, like just saying, hire me because I'm the best, but flipping the message, because I know, Johnny, you're such an advocate of the, telling hiring managers how you can solve their problem, as opposed to telling them that you're great and they should hire you because you really need a job. Thanks. Yeah. It's 2 different messages, isn't it?
It is. I kind of, my heart breaks and I rant at the same time when I see these. I'm immediately available. If anybody's looking for someone, then hire me. And I'm like, that's your problem. You're out of work. That's not the hiring manager's problem to solve. Stop banging on about you and you're being out of work. No one cares about that. What they care about is what you can do for them and how much you can do for them. So talk about that instead. and they will hire somebody who can solve their problem and make their pain go away. They won't hire someone who's out of work just because they're out of work. So, you just, I mean, this, I'm sort of ranting a little bit, but it's his empathy. Look at it from the hiring manager's perspective. What is it they want? They want their problem solved and they want their pain to go away. Be that, and you'll get hired. But to know what that is, 4 circles in the middle.
I was going to ask about the 5 Ps. Were you going there, Vanessa?
No, I wasn't. I was going to say, okay, so we've talked about how to land the ideal jobs. The first part that Johnny's talked about is kind of understanding yourself first and knowing what you've got to offer and what you love and what they're looking for to really kind of get that statement nailed down, which is, you've alluded to, is the 5P statement. But what I was going to ask is, okay, once you've done that work, and maybe people will choose to work with you to do that on this challenge that we can talk about later. But once they've got that, what's the next step? Because if there are no jobs on the job board, how do people get hired? How do people get found?
Yeah, and it's right. So let's just quickly talk about job boards for a second. The across the board success results for job boards is a plus or minus 10, 12, maybe if you're lucky, 13%. But as soon as you break the 80K salary mark and you head towards executives, that number plummets to around 1 to 3%. So job boards are an incredibly low ROI way of getting your next job. And if you're a very senior person, stop doing it. It'll just drive you mad. Okay. The smart thing to do is take your answer to the 4 circles questions and create a message that will really resonate with the hiring manager. There's a formula for it. I published it on LinkedIn. It was reverse engineered from some data that Google created in September 2014. It was a white paper that their global head of HR, Laszlo Bock, wrote, and it can't be beaten, which is why I'm happy to publish it on LinkedIn, because everybody should have it. And the 5P statement is just, who's the person you help? That's the first P. What place are they in? So what's the context of their job? That's the second P. What's the purpose of what you do? What's the output? What's the performance of that? What scale of that output? And what's the process by which you do it? And if you come up with a statement like that, so if I was Vanessa and I'm in marketing and I help businesses grow revenues by running marketing campaigns, and the businesses I want to help are going to be based in the north of England, and I love manufacturing businesses rather than banks, then I'm going to come up with a statement that might sound a little bit like this. If you are the CEO of a northern-based manufacturing business who wants to grow your revenues by 2 million quid by having someone lead your marketing function effectively, then that's me. And if I am a CEO, that's my person, of a northern-based manufacturing business, that's the place, who does want to grow their revenues, that's the purpose, by an amount, in this case 2 million quid, that's my promise. I recognize myself in that story and go, well, that's me. That's my problem. That's my pain. That's the scale I press out. And maybe you solve the problem by 200,000. Maybe you solve it by 20 million. But they need to know what scale. They need to know what it is. If I want costs, then I want a different statement. That 5P formula is unbeatable and is the thing. It's like catnip to a hiring manager. They read that and go, that's what I want. And it's got nothing to do with, I've got 10 years experience. I've got knowledge of marketing 2.0. I've got a BSc in marketing. That's all the ingredients. What I'm interested in as a hiring manager is, what's the result of all that? What's in it for me and how much is in it for me? Don't tell me about the ingredients of the cake. Just show me the cake.
Yeah.
Right. And that's all I'm really interested in. So if you get that 5P formula statement nailed as a result of working out, what it is you do best, that 5P formula will be based on a thing. In Vanessa's case, I made up an example that Vanessa's great at revenue. Revenue, how much? About 2 million quid. Fine. So then you come up with a 5P formula statement for that. Go to market with that. There are 4 places where that message needs to exist so that the hiring manager can see you. Okay? Because it's not going to be on a job board. You're not going to find that job. So first place is your personal network. Okay? These are people who actually know you. And the reason why you do that is because if I'm a hiring manager and I'm about to spend a 6-figure sum on hiring someone, the first place I go to is my personal network to de-risk that decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if your personal network and mine have overlapped, and then someone recommends you, that's the big one. Right? Personal network beats everything else. I know actually, Vanessa, it was networking that you got your current job. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's by far and away the biggest channel to market, your personal network, because it de-risks the hiring manager's decision to hire you, and that's what we want. The second big channel is LinkedIn, and you want to get that out there via content, via your profile, and all the other ways. I won't do a LinkedIn masterclass now. We'll be here until tea time. But those 2 channels, your personal network and your LinkedIn presence, is about 70% of all success. So they're the heavyweight channels. The other two channels are your CV and recruiters. Between them, they mop up the remaining 30%. So it's not equal across those four channels. The first two are the heavy ones. And so if you get your understanding about yourself, your positioning, and you create a 5P message, and then you put it out on those four channels, then you will get found faster for a job that wasn't on the job board, and you're away.
Can I get you to answer this question, please, from Paul Postans, please? So, finding job titles in digital leadership have changed dramatically since you was last searching a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Limiting applications to my core skills is a major challenge today because the roles aren't visible. Market shift ? Thoughts, Johnny Walker?
Yeah, the job titles in digital marketing have changed completely. Back in the days, you used to be a programmer. Then you became a coder or a developer. Nowadays, you're called an engineer. It's all the same bloody job. They just changed the job titles. It's annoying. When you're in change management, it's project management, program management, head of change, head of transformation. It goes all the way up to strategy. It's all one strata of the same stuff. It's change. So the best way to find out what the language du jour is, what people are talking about today, is go and do a search for vacancies on LinkedIn. Chuck some keywords in and see what comes up, and just scan those job descriptions very, very rapidly. I don't really want you to read them in detail, but I do want you to screen, and you'll see the language they're using. The case that we use when I'm running my program is this. I worked with a guy who actually holds the record for getting his job the fastest. It was 8 days. I'm not suggesting anybody else is going to do it, by the way. He ran at it like a rabid dog. But he was in mergers and acquisitions. And when I put in mergers and A&D acquisitions into LinkedIn, a few jobs came up. Then when I put in mergers and then use the ampersand and acquisitions, a few more jobs come up. Like, there's got to be more than that. When we put in M ampersand A, clearly that's the terminology of the industry. And so that's what you need to put on your LinkedIn profile, and that's how you're going to get found. So I don't know if that answers Paul's question fully, but I think there's a big answer there for everybody.
Yeah, I think search is the answer. We've got 3 minutes left. This has gone really quick, hasn't it? So you need to kind of be focused, be targeted, and know what your ideal job is, so that then you become visible for that job to your hiring manager.
Yes.
The way to become visible, as Johnny said, is through your LinkedIn profile and on your CV and things. But it's network, LinkedIn, CV, and recruiters.
Yeah.
So that's, I suppose, in those orders. Your network is first. As somebody else said in the comments, their last 3 jobs came from network. My last 2 jobs came from my network as well. So it really is valid to keep. There you go. You've got to keep talking to people.
You've got to give your network some good ammo, though. Get your 5P statement organised and give your network that to chew on, and you'll get a result much faster. Yeah. Okay. Network don't care about you being out of work. That's not their problem to solve. They don't want that begging email from you. Can you help me out, buddy? No one responds to that.
No.
Anyway, so what I want to do, as we're running out of time, is just say this. No sales pitch. I run a program. It helps people do the things we talked about today. And rather than you spend money on that, instead, come and join me on a week Monday. I'm going to do a free 5-day accelerator for you all. Okay? 5 to 30 minutes a day, every day for 5 days. And at the end of it all, you will know exactly how to get your ideal job. You'll start that process. There's 7 steps to it. You'll actually completed 2 of them. And it'll cost you nothing. And at the end of that, you'll have worked out whether or not you want to continue to work with me. You'll understand a little bit about what's involved, and you better make an informed decision. And the link for that is in the comments right now. Grab your spot there. I do an hour's worth of free coaching in the evenings. It gets lively. I normally do it with a glass of wine in my hand. So it's a private session. The language can get a little fruity. Incidentally, today, 100% record and no bad language.
No swearing whatsoever. I am so proud of you, Johnny. You've changed.
I haven't. I've got a sticky note on my screen saying don't swear.
Do not swear. Do not swear.
But you can come and join in. You'll get a ton of value. This is probably going to be the biggest one we've run. We run 3 a year. I've been doing it for 5 years, so we're probably accelerator number 15 now. There's loads of people in the comments who've been on an accelerator, so if you want to chip in with what your thoughts are, Vanessa's one, Melinda's another, Mariana's another one. There's a bunch of other people that, come along, join in, all right? Grab your spot on the accelerator by clicking the link in the comments, and I will help you out. And at the end of the week, if you just take the free help and run, fine. I'm more than happy with that. And if you decide, actually, this guy really knows his stuff, and I get what it's all about now, and I don't mind him too much because I'm in a quiet taste, so not everybody's going to love me, then you might continue to work with me, and that's how I make my money. So I'd rather let you see beforehand. Seeing is believing, right? Rather than do some sort of random pitch today. So there you go.
Excellent. So yeah, as you said, highly recommended. There is nothing to lose. You will learn something from it. It will not be a waste of your time. It's free and it's fun. So I mean, and it's good just for networking. We said how important networking is.
Yeah.
You'll meet other job seekers. It's a nice place to be, isn't it?
Yeah, and we'll all for anybody who's not seeing the link on their on their feeds, we'll put it on our individual feeds underneath the show recording after the show's finished.
Well, I appreciate that. Look, I'm getting some comments here. I can see them now. Sarah Brown saying, certainly recommend Johnny's accelerated course. Mariana saying, you won't regret it, etc. So there's look, there are people who've been on it already. Rather than me bang on about how fabulous it is, go check the comments out. But Mariana saying, yeah, just do join the course. Just come and find out for yourselves, all right? You'll soon work out whether I'm for you or not. You'll soon work out whether or not this is the kind of effort you want to put in. We have a 0 failure pick rate for people who join the full program, but it does require a bit of extra work. It's not a lightweight thing. James has just recommended me as well. I just saw that go through. And James has got a CVE, so check James.
You've been handing out your £10 this morning, haven't you?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, wonderful. No, it's been really great. Thank you very much. And thank you for offering that to our Business Brunch listeners and viewers. Sarah, who have we got next week?
Oh God. Sorry, I'm too busy doing comments to think. We have got Rob. Why has Rob's surname gone completely out of my head?
You know, it's gone out of mine as well because I was good.
Anyway, Rob, if you're watching, please tell me. But it's Rob. It'll come to me as soon as it's the 52-year-old brain. We're going to be talking about presentation skills and the power of presenting. So very much kind of part of this whole self-improvement, really useful for job seekers, really useful for us all to be able to present ourselves better. And Rob is an absolute master. If I could just remember his bloody surname.
While you're thinking about that, a lot of interviews are taking place digitally now, and that is better to have an impact over Zoom than it is if you're in the room or across the table. So learning these presentation skills is something that actually can make the difference between you and the other job seekers who are equally qualified, but perhaps didn't quite have the presence on camera. And so whoever Rob's surname is, I wish you well.
Rob, I'm now really losing my marbles. This is embarrassing.
Mayhew.
Danny's saying, say Mayhew.
No, it's not.
Okay, stop.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a thing, and when we talk about it, in terms of having that impact, particularly digitally.
Willis. Rob Willis.
Rob Willis.
Oh my God, my brain's so fried.
Sorry about that, Rob.
Rob Willis next week. Worth it. It makes a difference. All right, it can be the edge between you and the next person they interview. Otherwise,
sign up to Johnny's course. Excellent. Okay, well, thank you very, very much, and we'll see you all next week.
Johnny. Thank you, everybody. See you all next week.
With Rob Willis.
Rob Willis.